Hello and welcome to your practice today. I'd like to invite you to start in a seated posture. This can be seated in a chair, cross-legged on the floor, or whatever feels accessible for you in this moment. Close your eyes or have a soft gaze. Soften the shoulders. Feel the spine sliding down, rooting into the earth, while simultaneously reaching up and expanding towards the sky. The spine is strong and stable, and the rest of the body is soft and attentive to the present moment. I would like to remind you that I'm simply a guide, and everything that I say or do here on the mat today is simply a suggestion. You have full agency to change, pause, modify, or even stop the practice whenever you feel. Finding your breath, just naturally as it is in this moment, not judging it as good or bad, nor even judging it as shallow or deep, just watching the breath. In particular, bringing our attention to the area of the chest. Noticing how it subtly rises and falls without any intention from us, without any pushing, without any effort. It's just happening. Just a subtle rise and fall in the area of the chest. The Hridaya is often referred to as Shiva consciousness, infinite beingness, vast awareness. And in a way that is not comprehensible by the mind, this infinite aspect of your innate being exists in a microcosm in the center of your chest. Like a secret key or a sacred portal. The more that we draw our attention to this area in the center of the chest, the deeper we establish ourselves as the pure awareness. Coexisting with the Hridaya, inseparable from awareness, one with Shiva consciousness, is what we can refer to as Spanda Shakti. Spanda, the sacred tremor. This is this sense that you have as you focus on the area of the heart, of vitality, a kind of life force, the pulsation of existence. Spanda is that sacred throbbing, the source of all creation, the cause of the expansion of all life. The Hridaya and the Spanda are the source of all existence. And again, it is not comprehensible by the mind, and yet there is this intuitive, guttural knowing that both the Hridaya and the Spanda exist in you. You are these two universal principles existing in all things, everywhere, including this space in the center of the chest. Breathing in the area of the heart, staying attentive to or dissolving into this sacred space. This is the source of your being. As we move through this practice, I'd like to encourage you to keep your eyes closed or have a soft gaze as often as possible as we move through this practice, while simultaneously keeping your attention, even establishing your identification with this sacred tremor in the space of the heart. Although the Spanda is referred to as a divine motion, it's never really moving. It is beyond both time and space, which are necessary components for movement. But our limited mind needs to use words to try to point towards that which is beyond the realm of language. As we move through this asana practice, I would like to invite you to see it as a meditation in movement. The body and the breath and the silence which they exist within are reflections of the Spanda Shakti principle which creates all life. Take a few more big inhalations and exhalations into the area of the heart. If you're not on the ground, you can come down to the ground now. Or stay seated in a chair wherever you are. Place the hands out to the sides, lengthening up through the spine. We're going to synchronize the breath with the movements of the body. Inhaling, the hands travel up. And when they reach that point of a full inhalation, we have a slight kumbhaka, a retention of the breath. And then the exhalation, it triggers the movement of the hands. They're moving with the breath. And then when we have fully emptied the lungs, we pause for a moment before we inhale. And then when the inhale comes, it inspires the hands to move. Full inhalation, the hands come up overhead. We pause, silence. Exhaling, it initiates the movement of the hands. Moving at your own pace now, inhaling the hands rise, exhaling the hands come down. Feel as though the breath could not happen without the movement of the arms. And the movement of the arms could not happen without the breath. Breathing in whatever way feels natural and easy for you. Ujjayi is welcome here if this is in your practice. Allowing the mind to dissolve and inviting breath and body to move naturally in this very simple movement. We are both the witness of the movement as well as the movement itself. Spanda is often also translated as grace, the grace of the divine, that element in life which allows life to exist, to be, to unfold. So here, as we move the arms, drop any sense of doership. I am moving the arms. I am controlling the breath. Allow yourself to be in the body as an empty vessel, with Spanda, the grace of the divine goddess Shakti, moving through you, guiding you. 2 more big breaths. Pausing for a moment. Noticing the sensations appearing within the experience. Maybe a slight burning in the shoulders, a tingling in the fingers. Not labeling anything that appears here, just recognizing that they are the sacred throb of the spanda, pulsating from the center of awareness. Left hand goes over the knee, right hand to the base of the spine. Inhaling, look forward. Exhaling, gaze over that right shoulder. 2 big breaths here. Inhaling, unwind. Right hand over left knee, left hand at the base of the spine. Inhaling, looking forward. Exhaling, gazing over the left shoulder. And 1 more big breath. And on your next exhale, we can unwind and come back to center, pausing for a moment here. Dropping your attention down into the area of the chest. Resting as the pure perceiving, while simultaneously experiencing yourself as that which is perceived. Breath, body, space, time. From here, we're going to rock up onto our knees, coming into a tabletop. Coming into a simple cat-cow. Inhaling, turn the tailbone up, and then the head comes up. Pause for a moment. Exhaling, tailbone down, and then the head comes down. Allow the breath to move through the spine like a wave in the ocean, starting at the base of the spine, moving towards the head. We synchronize the breath with this movement in the same way we synchronized it with the hands. Dropping the doer. Dropping any belief of having control here, just watching the body. No right or wrong. Feel free to get creative, maybe drawing circles with the tailbone now, looking over one hip and shoulder and then over to the other. Allowing the breath to still move the body, but stepping out of this linear way of moving and allowing this creative spanda, this sense of existence, to pulsate through the body, through breath and experience. Very good. Slowly we can make our way back to the tabletop. We'll reach that left hand up to the sky, balancing on our right hand for a moment. And on an exhale, we can weave the left hand underneath of the right, coming down onto our left shoulder. Turn the head over to the right side, coming down onto the left cheek. Big breaths here. One more big breath. And on your next inhalation, the left hand can reach up to the sky once more. We can gaze up to the fingertips. And on an exhale, the left hand comes down, back in our tabletop. Pausing for a moment here, and then inhaling, the right hand comes up. Exhaling, we weave it underneath of the left, threading it like a needle, and coming down onto the right shoulder, right cheek, or right side of the head on the earth. Left hand can be on the hip or down on the ground, whatever feels comfortable. Find your breath. Breathe into the area of the heart. Notice the body, notice the experience of the body. The heaviness against the earth, the stretch, the movement of the belly. All of this is the pulse of existence. One more big breath. Inhaling, we come back to our tabletop. Now, you can keep your knees where you are or walk them back and walk the hands forward. We're just going to come into a bit of a puppy dog here, allowing for an expansion through the area of the chest. Big heart-filled breaths here. Two more big breaths. And then coming back up onto the hands, maybe even into a tabletop, we'll curl the toes under and push back into a downward facing dog. Take time to bend one knee and then the other knee, bringing length into the backs of the legs. Fingers are spread wide. Push the weight into the tips of the fingers as much as you can. Gaze is between the feet and not between the hands. Find your breath. Feel this sense of aliveness in the backs of the legs, in the back of the body, in the space between the fingers. Two more big breaths. Inhaling, we'll lift that right leg up. Draw circles with the toes, one way and then the other. Exhaling, we'll step that right leg up between the hands and come into a high lunge. You can stay with your hands on the ground or on blocks. Alternatively, the hands can come up to the knees, the hips, or we can lift them up overhead. Striking whatever pose we feel intuitively called to do here in this moment. We're not moving from memory, we're not moving from experience, we're not trying to achieve anything here. We're dropping this sense of a person who has things to do and places to get to, and we're just stepping into the pure perceiving as well as the experience of ourself as life itself. Breath, body, color, shape, form. See the world from the space of the heart. Drop your eyes down from the head and bring them into the center of your chest. What is it like to see the world from the space of the heart? And on your next exhale, we frame the front right foot and we push back into our downward dog. Take a moment to walk it out. Find your breath. Inhaling, we lift the left leg now and draw circles with the toes. One way and the other way. And exhaling, we step that left foot up between the hands. Taking any modification that we did on the opposite side, bringing balance into the body. Allowing the heart to shine forward. Both the physical heart and the spiritual heart, which is the source of Spanda, that vibratory sense of existence, your vitality. This shines from the area of the center of the chest. Breathe here. Two more big breaths. Exhaling, we frame that left foot and push back into our downward dog. Walk the dog a little. Relax the muscles in the face and the belly. Inhaling, we'll lift the right leg again. Exhaling, we'll step it up between the hands, and this time we'll drop that back left knee. Hands can stay on the ground or on blocks. They can also come up to the knees, the hips, or overhead. No right or wrong posture. Allowing your intuition to guide you. Really, this is the voice of the heart. Breathing here. Shining the heart forward. Allowing the shoulders to fall away from the ears and a softness to enter into the chest. Two more big breaths. Bending that back left leg, lengthening through the right. We'll come into Hanuman Asana or any variation that you feel called to do. Hands can be flat on the ground, up on the fingertips, resting on the blocks or in fists. Toes of the right foot are pointing up to the sky. Shoulders are soft, falling away from the ears. Reaching the crown of the head and the tailbone in opposite directions. Hanuman Asana. Really a deity or God that is a representation of the heart in form. Find your breath. We're meditating here. Simply witnessing the body and breath in movement. This movement isn't in resistance to our beingness. Bending the right leg, lengthening the left, curling the toes under, downward dog. Resting with the breath. Inhaling, lifting that left leg up, stepping it up between the hands, dropping the back right knee. Taking any modification with the hands that you did on the opposite side. Find your breath. Two more big breaths, allowing the heart to shine forward. Bending that back right leg, lengthening through the left. Turn the toes of the left foot up to the sky. Hanumanasana. Two more big breaths. Bending the left leg, lengthening through the right, placing the hands down on the ground, and pushing back into our downward dog. One more time, inhaling the right leg up to the sky. Exhaling, this time we'll come down into a pigeon pose. Striking whatever modification works for you. Many of us may appreciate placing some pillows or blankets underneath the pelvis and hips. Hands can be on the ground, on the ankle and knee, up overhead, on the hips. Really, they can be anywhere. Shoulders are soft and falling away from the ears. The chin is tucked here so that the energy stays in Anahata chakra, which is not the Hridaya, but is like a close sister. Breathing into the area of the heart. Feeling the vibrancy of Spanda, of life, pulsating throughout the entirety of the physical body. Some areas may be stronger, other areas quieter. And yet there's this inner knowing that it is Spanda that brings life into form, Shiva into existence. Notice your breath in the area of the heart. Two more big breaths. Hands come down to the ground, curl the toes under on the left foot, and downward dog. Inhaling, the left leg comes up. Exhaling, we're going to come back into our pigeon pose on the opposite side now. Taking the same modification that you did on the opposite side, finding your breath, grabbing any props, allowing your intuition to guide you, being mindful of any movements. We're in no race here. Remembering that you have complete authority over your body, so if at any time something doesn't feel right, then you don't need to do it. We're just resting in the heart, perceiving ourselves as life itself. There is no particular way that we need to be in the body in order to experience this. The breath is in the heart. And when you're ready, the hands can come back to the ground and we'll move into our downward dog once again. And from here, we're going to come into a belly shavasana any way that feels right for you, if this is a posture that you would like to do today. Alternatively, if you don't feel comfortable coming down to the ground, you can just rest in a kneeling position. We're going to take a simple back bend. So this can be a mini cobra, a sphinx pose, or a full cobra. Or if you're kneeling, you can just bend the back and turn the heart up to the sky. And whatever back bend we're taking today, make sure that the chin is tucked and we're not drooping back with the head. This way the energy stays in the area of the chest, and it keeps it easier for the attention to rest here as well. If you're in cobra pose, it is my recommendation that the hands are extended out in front of you rather than beneath the shoulders. Find your breath, breathing in the area of the heart. We're going to hold this posture for 7 breaths, breathing in and out through the heart space. And on your next inhale, you can slowly come back down to a belly shavasana. Making a little pillow with your hands and then placing your forehead down on the pillow. Alternatively, if you're not on the ground, you're still kneeling, you can just find a comfortable place to rest and perceive this moment. Witnessing the effects of this asana on the energetic system. Recognizing that all energy comes from the same space, that spanda, that pulse, that initiatory experience. So although we may call it Anahata chakra, the heart chakra, its home is the spanda. Just witnessing, not judging or criticizing. And from here, being slow and mindful, we'll come back into a kneeling position. The hands can come to heart center in prayer mudra, Anjali mudra. They say that when a newborn baby is inside the womb, the first movement that is seen is the spark of the heart. Before anything else, the heart needs to make that sacred internal drumming. Thump, 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 thump. This is our beginning. This is our beginning in form, in the human experience. That sacred throbbing. The heart is a reflection of the spanda. Inside our physical heart is the space and home of the Spanda. Pressing our thumbs into our heart space, connecting with this sacred area. Inhaling, we'll rise up onto our knees, push the prayer up to the sky, expand the arms, shining the heart forward. Exhaling, we pull all of the universe and existence into the area of the chest. Moving at your own pace, inhaling, you rise, open the arms and expand. Exhaling, you pull it all back into the chest. This very simple kriya is a reflection of the existence of ourselves. We are both open and expansive. We are the universe, and we are also quiet and internal. We are the macrocosm as well as the microcosm. We are that which is beyond all form, and we are form itself. 2 more big breaths. Resting once again in a kneeling position. Feeling this life force energy pulsing throughout your body. You are simultaneously the experience as well as the experiencer, the perceived and the perceiver, the witness and the witnessed. There is no separation. All is one. We're going to come down into a child's pose, taking any modification that you feel you'd like, any variation, maybe placing some pillows or a block underneath of the bum. The arms can stretch out in front of us and the legs can spread wide. This is for a more external and expansive experience. Alternatively, we can also bring those knees together and bring the hands down towards the toes, resting the forehead on the ground. Again, not moving from what we think we should do, but allowing intuition to guide us. How does this moment feel? Maybe what we initially struck as an asana is not exactly what this moment is calling for. Permit yourself to make mistakes and adjust and modify as each moment is requiring you to. Feeling into the area of Anahata Chakra, as well as the space of Hridaya. Hridaya is this expansive spaciousness, which is the container in a sense. It is Shiva consciousness, the backdrop upon which the Spanda dances. I'm going to hold this posture for 7 breaths, breathing in and out of the heart, not through the nose and down to the lungs, but breathing as though you can breathe through the pores in the center of your chest. Inhaling through the pores of the back, through the shoulder blades, exhaling out of the front of the chest. Again, we inhale through the area of the heart between the shoulder blades in the back body. And as we exhale, we breathe out of the front of the chest, offering it to the earth. One more big breath. And slowly you can make your way into a shavasana, a corpse pose, or alternatively you can just find a nice meditative posture. Taking, there's no rush. If you are in a corpse pose, allowing the feet to flop out to the sides, palms up to the sky, shoulders rolled back and down the spine. Wherever you are, seated or lying down, we're lengthening through the spine, slightly tucking the chin, creating an expansion in the area of the neck. And feeling the sense I and the sense of existence. Shining forth from the space in the area of the chest. And feel with each exhalation that the area of the heart is growing. Maybe at first just little millimeters. Creeping up towards the neck and down the belly button. Over to the sides of the ribs. Each exhalation, the heart is growing wider and wider. Like this great void. Dissolving everything it touches. There's this infinite black space which is at the center of the heart, and it's widening out throughout the body. Widening out to the shoulders, down the arms, swallowing the fingers, down the legs, down to the feet, dissolving the tips of your toes, expanding. It starts to move across your face. It's taken the neck, the chin, the jaw, the lower lip, the bottom palate of the mouth, the tongue, teeth, upper palate, upper lip. It's spreading and swallowing all of these pieces of person. Cheeks, eyes, eyelids, temples, eyebrows. The ears are dissolving. Back of the head, sides of the head, it creeps up until it swallows the forehead and crown of the head. This border of our being, which we knew mentally as body, has dissolved. And this void continues to expand. It swallows the floor, the walls, the ceiling, the room, the house, the street, country, across the globe. Everything we knew as world and external is being erased. Our personal story, our memories, loved ones, enemies, opinions, beliefs, our ideas, even the subtle emotion of potential panic or excitement that arises as all of this erases, even that is erased, swallowed by the great void. The senses, taste, touch, sound, sight. Offer it all up, if only for just this moment. Rid yourself of everything you've ever filled yourself with. Toss it all into the void. Let there only be this expansive, silent spaciousness. Resting in the quietude of your being, in the innermost aspect of yourself. Recognize that things are not static here. Although things are still, there is still a vibrancy. Although things are quiet, there is an aliveness. Although there is peace, there is also vitality. They are inseparable. They are one and the same. You, as a person, no longer exist. There is only this. Rest both as that which is known, as well as the knower of it. staying where we are. Keeping the eyes closed or the gaze soft. Become aware of the space, the physical room. Recognize that this is birthed from and exists in Shiva and Shakti. Sounds that surround you. My very voice is only possible because of this great void and its vibrancy. Tingling sensations in the bottoms of your feet. Tingling in the palms of the hands. Tingling in the face. All of this is a reflection of the Shakti Spanda, a creative force. The feeling of your body being held by the earth. Although it may be perceived through the mind with such words as dense, static, heavy, there is still this vibrancy there where body meets earth. This pulsation of life. Noticing breath. The inhalation and exhalation, one in the same. An ecstatic vibrancy appearing within spaciousness. Movement within awareness. Not separate from, but part of beingness. And if you're lying on the ground, you can slowly roll to one side. There's no science required here, no effort needed. The body just knows. And in the same way, you can move from your side and gently come up into a seated posture. There's no way you need to move. You don't have to be slow. You don't have to be fast. The spanda is flowing through your being always, and like grace, It guides you. The idea that there is a doer here making things happen, this is also perceived. You are both the doer and not the doer. Surrendering to yourself in this moment. Trusting that in the vibrancy of life, everything flows as it needs to. With no right nor no wrong. All is well. Peace is your essence.